If you had told me that Doctor Strange was not going to be the most trippy movie of the year, I would have laughed. But then I saw this. High Rise is directed by Ben Whitley and written by Amy Jump and stars Tom Hiddleston, Luke Evans, Jeremy Irons, James Purefoy, Sienna Miller, and Elizabeth Moss. And this tells the story of Tom Hiddleston, who moves to this enormous tower block in which there are two classes, the people who live in the upper floors and the people who live in the lower floors. These two classes are divided because very much clearly, the guys on the upper floors are the upper class, and the guys on the lower floor are the lower class. And the upper class people have much more privileges, of course. But what this movie basically is a celebration of abuse, of exaggeration. It's exuberance in everything, in the writing, in the stylistic choices, in the set design, in the shots that Ben Whitley decides to give this movie, because this movie is also flooding with symbolism. There are so many things that you cannot understand with just one viewing. This movie leads you and leads you and leads you in, but you have to clearly watch this movie more than once. There are many things that don't seem to make sense, don't seem to fit with the narrative. This movie will have you questioning if this is a linear or a non-linear narrative. This movie will divide audiences. This movie has come out for a long time to other people. I have only been able to watch it now. Even though I haven't heard that much about it, I know it is dividing people. Ben Whitley clearly is a fan of David Cronenberg, of Stanley Kubrick, of even Nicholas Winding Refn. There are so many stylistic choices that are clearly taken from those directors. And Amy Jump as well, she clearly knew what Ben Whitley wanted, and I'm sure they worked together writing this script. Because these two work really well, you can see that this script is tightly transformed into the movie. And this movie really celebrates its symbolism, its exaggeration. This movie celebrates power and money and celebrity, and it really pokes fun at how rich people see themselves. Tom Hiddleston has a really good performance in here, but at some points or others, you clearly notice that the character isn't there doing much. About halfway through the movie, you are asking yourself, what is this character still doing here, and why is he still the focus? He comes back later to clearly have more importance, but halfway through the movie, he loses that importance that he should have continuously throughout the whole narrative. I will say, however, that Luke Evans is the most interesting character in this movie, and he chews the scenery in every scene that he is in. This guy was spectacular. He was as exaggerated as he could and should have been due to the script and the way this movie is directed. He fits so well into this. From his hair to the way he dresses, this guy seems like he came out of a 70s movie, and he celebrates that. His accent and everything. I really enjoyed Luke Evans in this movie. Jeremy Irons is the architect behind this tower block, and he as well celebrates the exaggeration. He lives on the top floor. What does the top floor have? It has a garden. A huge garden which his wife uses to horse ride. I mean, there's just not much to do, but in every single floor, you notice the dimension of this building. Sure, you first see it from the outside, and it's big, but once you get in, holy crap, this is huge. I don't even know why this was built, and you don't get that, at least from the first viewing. Again, this is a movie that requires very much attention. This is a movie not for every kind of audience. This is a movie that has very meticulously set up shots. This movie has very meticulously set up symbolism. It really tells you a lot visually. However I feel about the structure of the movie and how it worked, I can tell that this movie, as far as visually storytelling, is a stroke of genius. There are good performances all around, as I said, from Tom Hiddleston, Luke Evans. Jeremy Irons is good, he's not in the movie much. Sienna Miller is also really great, and so is Elizabeth Moss, who plays this pregnant woman who gets somehow involved with Tom Hiddleston in one way or the other. But I will say there are just too many characters in this movie. James Purefoy is a very underrated actor in my opinion. He's great. However little he is in the movie, he's great when he is in the movie. But his character could have been played out of the movie just like that, and it wouldn't have made a difference. Despite this movie brilliantly celebrating exaggeration and exuberance, it is exaggerated and exuberant. There are just way too many things going on, and you can't grab nearly everything in this movie. There's just too much going on. There are too many characters. There are too many storylines. The symbolism is pretty, is beautiful. I appreciate it, but there's just too much of it, and the symbolism itself should not take away from the storytelling as far as dialogue and character story arcs are concerned. Also, this is a gripe I have sometimes with movies, but sometimes I don't, and it seems inconsistent and unfair as far as I go as a reviewer and critic, but this movie has very little character setup, character arc, and character development. There are movies where this fits, there are movies where this fits not. As far as I can tell, this story is not meant for me to grab it. This story is not meant to be something for me, a regular person from middle class, normal life who's not even from America. And this movie doesn't really make you like anyone very much. There are character decisions that characters make in this movie that just seem way too little. There are character decisions in this movie that make them very much unlikable, and decisions that are just way nonsensical. This is definitely a movie that pokes fun at the upper class people and really makes a metaphor for the low class versus the upper class. And I really enjoy that. There is very dark humor in here that I laughed a lot at. There are visual gags, visual setup jokes, and visual payoffs that are really good. There are jokes the characters themselves tell each other, but to them they are not jokes. They are just pieces of dialogue that they are telling each other to progress the story. But still, you laugh so much at how these characters are handling certain situations. Ben Wheatley is definitely a director I'm keeping my eye on, from his Kubrickisms, to his Cronenbergisms, to his Reffinisms, and to his visually master degree in setting up a story. Is this a movie that you should watch? Yes, as far as directing a visual story is concerned, this is definitely a movie to watch. Good performances, kind of a confusing story, kind of a mess of a movie by the end when it all comes together, but as far as visuals go, this movie is beautiful. It's lavish, it is exaggerating, it is exuberant as far as beauty goes. And I will say, despite however many people can hate it, there are just as many people that can love it. I will personally watch this movie again because I love when movies keep me thinking about them and make me wonder what this is or what does that mean. And I just love how I can finish a movie and about a week later, that is now, I am still thinking about it. And because of that, High Rise definitely gets a martini. What did you think of High Rise, my beautiful geekies? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Are you a fan of Ben Wheatley? Have you seen Free Fire from him? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of this movie and of that movie. And of course, don't forget to start leaving your questions for the hashtag Rogue One Q&A. The Q&A is coming after Rogue One hits theaters. I'm going to watch it on the 14th, and of course, bring you a spoilers free and a spoilers review for that before the Q&A comes. Ask me how many questions you want about anything you want. My theory video for Westworld before the finale is coming this Saturday. Don't forget to check out my review for episode 9, which is very traumatic. Like this review and share. That is a big way for you guys to help me out. And join the beautiful geeky community. If you haven't, what are you waiting for? Click the button and join us so we can be geeky united. My beautiful geekies, we are only 25 away from 500 subscribers. I cannot believe this. You guys are the freaking best. Thank you so much. I love you all. Stay beautiful, stay geeky, shit!